Hi YouTube, FT here, and this is video number 2 of 10. This is my 1911 silver pistols. I purchased 2 of them because I want to use them in a project. We got the standard Wii magazine for the 1911. If you've watched my other videos, I've gone through these. In the back you have exploded view of the 1911, and in this particular one you get an additional exploded view because this is a version 2 1911, and I'll point out a few of the subtle differences. So we'll just take a quick look at one of them. So it's nice silver chrome. Put this one away. So again, standard Wii manual for 1911, and then again on this one you have the exploded view for version 1 1911, and then you have the additional exploded view for the version 2. Just do the box, standard Wii Europe box. It's just an ordinary brown box, and generally they just put different stickers over the front to denote what's inside it. And the interior of the box is this moulded egg carton type card. All environmentally friendly, of course, and it's a generic interior. You can put any pistol that they do in here and any magazine. Pretty boring really. So here it is. I've got spare magazines, so let's make sure we've got nothing in it. That's all good. So as I've said, this is one of a pair because I'm going to use these as a project. Well, I say project, it's actually a very quick conversion. So this is the Wii 1911 version 2. A few subtle differences than the version 1. And basically, from what I can see, on the exterior anyway, they are the pin that the hammer strikes is actually sprung loaded, and on the version 1 it's actually an Allen key bolt, Allen key head bolt. The second thing I noticed is that this pin here, which is the pivot pin for the hammer, comes all the way through to the other side. On the version 1 it's actually a fake circular indentation in the lower frame to make it look as though there's something there, and there isn't. Another external difference is the slide lock pin. When you go to take it out, on the version 1, this side has a well milled into it, so you can push your finger in and it pushes it further out than it currently does on the version 2, because on the version 2 it's very hard to push this pin far enough so you can grab hold of the lock and pull it out. And I'll bring that into the frame in a minute. To show you those differences. So here's my Wii Colt Commander. If you saw my first video in this set of 10, you'll see I put these grips on it. But this is version 1. And the way you can tell that is this isn't sprung, the pin. It's basically an Allen key type headed bolt which is screwed in. This is fake. It's actually just a circular stamp in the lower frame to make it look as though the pin for the hammer pivot comes all the way through, and it doesn't. And although this is black, I hope you can see it, this is milled out here, so you can actually push this as far as you need to be able to grab it and pull it out. Whereas on this one it's flush, it's not milled out. It's the version 2. Another difference between the version 1 and this version 2 is that the version 2 has a washer set, just a rubber washer and then a steel washer on the spring pin. Spring housing is basically the same. Take the barrel bushing and you can take the barrels out. Again, I won't take the inner barrel out because you have to undo this tiny screw here to take this little block off, and then it can come out. But there was a reason why I wanted to strip this down. And before I move on, this is a Commander or a 1911 mini magazine. This is the standard 1911 magazine, and as you can see it is fractionally shorter, but that is enough difference that the Commander magazine will not lock and doesn't come high enough to be used in the standard 1911. But what is quite good, of course, is that you can use the standard magazines in the 1911 mini. They do stick out a little bit at the bottom. Still, enough of the mini, let's get on with this one. There is one other slight difference between the version 1 and the version 2, is that on the trigger guard, where it meets the frame, here it's nice and plain. It's almost poetry. But where the trigger guard meets the frame on the version 1, it's got a little round circle in there. Again, it's just stamped in, same as this one is here. Now on the very original Wii's, within this little circle there was a WE. And I actually have one of those, which I'll make a video of as well. So, back to the version 2, Chrome 1911 A1. I love it, I think it's wonderful. Hate these grips. And as part of my project I have purchased these Pacmea wooden and soft rubber grips. They're obviously for the original and real 1911. Also, this barrel bushing is okay, and it's the one I need to have on the 1911 when I add the mock suppressor. And this is the mock suppressor I'll be using. I've added a Wii conversion here, so it will screw into the outer barrel without any problems. But I wanted it to look a little bit different when I'm not using it, or when I'm using it without the suppressor. So I also purchased one of these compensators that I'll be fitting. So let's get rid of these grips and get some decent grips put on. So they're the horrible plastic ones. And these are the ones I'll be putting on. So these are the grips that I'll be using. They're called charcoal, the colour, and these are real wood with rubber. Now I've also purchased these screws. I love these screws. I'm putting them on almost all of my 1911's. But I just love the design. See how they look? They look so much better than standard screws. Now the reason I'm putting my finger in the mag well is to make sure that screw doesn't protrude beyond the walls of the well, otherwise your magazine will get trapped. And you can see the top ones, you can also feel for them. So they fit nicely. And doesn't that look so much better? And this. So let's put this thing back together. Now you will shout, but you haven't put the barrel bushing back on, because I'm not going to in this case. I'm going to use this one. Right, so we put that slide back on the lower frame. Got no gas in there, got no gas in there. And there is the first part of my conversion. Very quick, very simple. New grips, charcoal grey, black. This is a Punisher compensator. And when you want to apply your suppressor, basically you have to push down, take this off, put your standard barrel bushing back in, so you've got your standard front end, and then this will just screw in. And swapping them back is just as quick. In fact, it's easier because you don't need to use a tool of any kind to release the barrel bushing. You literally push your finger in, screw the barrel bushing out, put this one in, and it locks in place. So let's gas it up and see how it dry fires. I'm using Puff Dino green gas. These grips are really nice. Get your fingers in there. Well, let's see what this is like. Simple, easy. I think it makes a heck of a difference. They actually feel great to hold as well. But it's a lovely 1911. Now I've also purchased a weapons case to put the pair of these in with their appropriate accessories, and it's one of those ones where you can pick the little blocks of foam out to make the shape you want, so I'm going to be working on that as well. And I'll do a video of how that comes along. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you on another video. Cheers!